that one, but one's good a number as any.
Why not? Yeah. You know, if you just want an extra 2-drop, you know, when you're building a deck, you're like, oh, you know, I feel like I'm doing really well in these games where I have like a good 2-drop, and you know, I'm not winning as many games where I don't have one. And you just want to add one more to your deck, and Horse Legionnaire is a fine choice. 3-power first striker for 2 mana.
Seems pretty good.
Seems pretty good.
Not as good as Strangleroot, guys, but still has to be very good.
Yeah.
So there you see Steven on your right, top 8er of Grand Prix Orlando. Eric West, not so sure about. I'm not sure if he's having any big finishes. And it doesn't look like it. If so, Eric, I apologize, but I think this is, I don't think he's top 8 at a major event yet.
Well, maybe this could be his first.
Yeah,
Currently sitting at 3-0.
He's looking pretty good.
Now, it looks like there's quite a big New England contingent here. I see a Red Sox shirt in the background there on the left side.
Well, you know how those fans are. We're all over. We're not only in New England. Though we should be, probably. Should probably be confined to that area. Not allowed to leave. So, humans versus mono green. Who do you give the edge to in this matchup?
Mono green.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's like a complete thrashing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these Dungrove Elders are going to be way bigger than anything Eric can muster. But we'll see. He's leading off with a champion of the parish, probably his best 1-drop against Steven.
Yeah, and I mean, something Eric has access to in his deck is Gather the Townsfolk, so he can be attacking for 3 with the champion on turn 2.
Okay.
That's possible.
That's pretty good. And Ravnica Plains from Eric West.
Ooh, nice.
Going old school.
Is Ravnica old school now?
I think it is.
Am I old?
We're both old.
Oh, man.
And that's
Elite Inquisitor.
Elite Inquisitor.
Nice. So Champion of the Parish becomes a 2-2, and he's going to bash Steven down to 18 here.
The problem with all of the white deck small creatures, though, is they're going to be completely invalidated as soon as Steven gets anything as big as a 3/3 into play, like, say, a Dungrove Elder.
Yeah.
Or even a Strangleroot, guys, on defense is pretty good.
And I mean, it may seem strange. You may think, like, oh, well, how will Steven actually end up winning the game after he floods the board? They're just going to get to this cog board state, but Steven can just eventually find a Bellowing Tangleworm.
Right. With his 4 Green Sun Zenith, he really plays 5. Also, he has 4 Garrix in his deck and 4 Sword of War and Peace. And there's that Strangleroot Geist on defense. He would love to trade that with a champion if he gets the chance, but will not.
It's not going to look like he's going to have a chance to do that. And coming in for 6, Steven probably going to take this, go to 12. Although, you know, chumping with Strangleroot Geist isn't the worst here.
I think there's an argument to be made for chumping. That way he'll have a 3-power creature to face off against that 3/3 champion. But that's, of course, only if Eric has no more humans.
Yeah, which is pretty unlikely.
Right.
If you're playing champion at all. And you're going pretty deep into humans if you're playing Elite Inquisitor, so...
That's true. This isn't your run-of-the-mill humans deck, though, because Eric has 4 Mana Leak, 2 Negate in his deck, and 2 Gataxian Probe.
And he's 4 Loyal Cathar.
Wow. So lots of white 2-drops to go with his blue spells. Wow. He's playing 8 blue sources also.
It's a little late on blue with it.
20 lands in his deck, including 3 Moorland Haunt. So, greedy mana bases we're seeing today.
There's something about Florida. People must just not like playing lands here.
I guess not. I guess they like missing their land drops and dying with spells in hand. That's personally one of my least favorite things to do in Magic. So, right now, Steven's main phase decides on Forest and another Geist.
Bird of Paradise, and now you can double block with these guys and that champion. That'll be nice.
Definitely big enough. And yeah, Eric with a negate in hand, but no blue mana to use it.
I mean, he's only playing 9 planes. He's almost half of them in play now.
Yep.
And there's Loyal Cathar. Coming in with Champion of the Parish and Elite Inquisitor.
Yep, I have to imagine we'll see a double block here.
Yeah. it would be crazy to not see double black here.
Yep. Steven Mann is a Grand Prix top 8er. I think that was a limited tournament, so he knows his way around creature combat.
No, standard.
Standard, okay.
I actually did coverage of that event.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay, that was the one Conley won.
Yeah.
So now the
The
Geist...
Inquisitor is actually pretty insane against Steven's deck.
It really is.
Yeah.
That guy's just going to keep bashing for 3 every turn.
Steven just needs to draw a big thing, though. Just a big, big, big thing.
Yeah, he has a lot of them. He has 4 Green Sun Zenith. He has 2 Thrun. He has 3 Phyrexian Metamorph, which granted don't actually do a lot right now. Sort of War and Peace, that would just be game over.
Yeah.
Dungrove Elder. He has so many good cards to draw.
And he plays 4 Sword of War and Peace, right?
4 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a Garruk Relentless, and that's just gonna
Make a guy.
churn out some wolves, churn out some chump blocking wolves.
Woof. So this is nice. We're seeing the dog theme deck.
Yeah, I like it.
That's why.
No Zodiac dog, but can't have everything. So Eric on your left, considering his options.
One of these new wolf tokens you had earlier.
Yeah, Strangleroot Geist. Normally it's not a card you think of as a blocker, but it does a pretty good job at that, too.
Yeah, it's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
All right, now comes in with both.
Oh, not yet. So, reading the Veil Curse, wants to see what kind of wolves it makes, probably. See if maybe it makes vampire wolves.
And they are death-touching wolves.
Yep. Unfortunately, not death-touching werewolves, or at least, unfortunately for Eric West.
Yeah. Eric choosing who he's going to attack right now.
Yep. Trying to figure out how he wants to get through this wall of green monsters.
Steven could probably just chump block with a wolf here. Or, I mean, if he wants, he could go ahead and double block and get off the table. That actually might be the better play.
Yeah, well, we also have
Full information
yeah,
where he is not. Yeah.
Exactly. We know his entire hand, but it looks like trump and trade is what Steven decides on.
Yeah, that's completely reasonable.
I'm almost a little surprised he didn't just trump with the wolf token, but trading with the bird probably means he doesn't have too much in the way of big fatties in his hand.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really in his deck that costs more than 5 anyway.
True.
So if he has another land in his hand, then it's completely fine to trigger the bird. So, I mean, if the bird's going to pick up a Sword of War and Peace, it's not like anything could block on the other side of the table anyway.
Right. So Steven untaps with the Garruk, still on 3 counters.
Yeah, but now the Garruk can get rid of that black guy.
Yeah.
And
flip into the more powerful version.
Yeah, flip into a more powerful version of itself.
You know, when I first saw the Loyal Cathar, I did not think it was going to be a constructed card. At all.
Neither did I. A lot of people did. Yeah, creatures are just so good now.
Yeah.
It's not...
It doesn't really seem like a mere 2 for a 2/2 would be enough.
Just more land or else.
Wow. So Steven flooding out here.
Yeah.
Oh, the Seachrome Coast comes into play tap. So Steven will have one more turn for a negate reprieve.
And I mean, at this point, though, like, Steven is just going to be making wolves every turn.
Yeah, those wolves are going to be really hard to fight through for Eric, especially since he has no Hero of Blade Holds. He has only 1 Geist of St. Traft. Mirren Crusader. That card would do it.
Steven continuing to be flooded here. But I mean, even not drawing really any pressure, he's still completely fine in this game. So
Yeah.
you're kind of seeing like just how good this matchup is.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And now it looks like Garrick will make a wolf, a death touching wolf this time. And next turn the Garrick will be online, will be able to sack a creature, go find a Dungrove, an acidic slime, something like that, or Thrun even.
Yeah, and I mean he's probably just gonna keep wanting to pick it up.
That works
so he
too.
can start, you know, doing that and other things.
Right. Well, a 5/5 Dungrove Elder right now is a pretty big trump. Eric looking around as though he knows he needs some help here.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have any cards in his hand. It's not like any instants in his deck. Surprised. Alright. So he attacks. Steven choosing to jump with the Llanowar Elf again.
Pretty reasonable, wants to preserve his wolves, knows he doesn't need those elves. And that is a problem card.
That is definitely a
Players, we
problem.
are taking sign-ups for all
And
of our
Eric West
side
now has
events.
Negate Mana
We've
up,
already got 2 people for a
so any
$10
swords of
draft.
War and Peace
Ticket sign-ups
can
for
be
standard
countered.
Winterbox, Legacy Winterbox, competitive draft, and we only need one more person to fill out a
Yeah,
commander
Phyrexian
pod.
Metamorph is going to be
Those 4-player pods, $5
very necessary at this point.
$20
Definitely.
store credit going
Gonna have
to a
to
winner.
go
So if you're
and,
interested in side events today, come on up and see Michael
tree
right over here on
copy
the left
this
side of the
Mirror
stage.
Crusader.
Yeah, the only cards that Steven can interact with that Mirror Crusader with, Sword of War and Peace, sort of, Phyrexian Metamorph, and the One Porcelain Legionnaire.
And then one person Legionnaire.
Yeah.
Hey. it
Jump
works.
block, yeah. Well, actually trade. Jeez. Seems odd to trade with a Mirror Crusader with a 2-drop, but that's one that can do it. And he can even tutor it up with Garrick Relentless.
Yeah.
Or Garrick the Veil Curse, I should say. So yep, he'll search his deck for a creature.
Wasn't the Garrick only at 2 counters?
Yeah,
Did he get +2 from the Wolf in the play? Death Touch Wolf?
+1, and then it's -1 to sack a creature and search your library.
Oh, it's only -1.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I thought that was -2. I'm mistaken.
And there's the Legionnaire. And that was a really last-minute addition to Steven's deck. He had crossed out one Sword of Feast and Famine, added a Porcelain Legionnaire. So this looks like this is going to be a good one-off for him.
Yeah, and look, he even dodges Mental Leap.
Yeah. And like a hand negate. This is amazing.
So hey, that Porcelain Legionnaire that we were questioning in the beginning.
Yeah. It's
So very, very useful.
game 1 too.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
kind of sweet.
Yeah. Magic is a beautiful game, isn't it?
It is a very beautiful game. That's something I really like about modern Magic too, is how like just changing one card in your deck almost always matters.
Yeah. That's something that it didn't really used to matter. It was like all 4-ofs back then and everything.
Yeah.
Now there's so many fair, balanced ways to search your library.
We're gonna Dungrove Elder.
Wow. Can't negate that. So Eric drawing pretty slim here. He's going to need some more Mirren Crusaders and fast. Another Honor the Pure would be very good for him too.
Yeah.
That's a Geist, I believe.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah, the one Geist in his deck makes an appearance. Or maybe not.
Giving him the guns. Better holster those. Alright. Geist does come down. And
That's a pretty big threat too, because Steven is only at 7 life. He had to pay 2 life to cast that Porcelain Legionnaire.
yeah.
And if he had not trump blocked with that Birds, he might still be at 9. So that is a 6/6 Dungrove Elder, a 1/1 Death Touch Wolf, Porcelain Legionnaire, Strangleroot Geist that's a 3/2, in play against, Geist of St. Traft, Mirren Crusader, Elite Inquisitor, Honor of the Pure. Stephen Mann also has a Gareth the Veil Curse with 1 counter.
Yep. Here he can make another wolf, which I'm assuming is going to happen. Also, just going to continue developing his board. It looks like he drew another Dungar of Elder. Wow. If I'm right.
If you signed up for Commander Pod number 1, come on up to the stage. We found your 4th player. Once again, Commander Pod number 1.
And unfortunately for Steven, he can't really attack either. Oh, that's a Metamorph, though.
Oh, doesn't that give his opponent lethal on board?
He might choose to copy that Geist and Legend rule it.
Yeah, I guess that's what he's got to do.
Yep, so copies that, drops to 5.
Yeah, makes a guy.
And all of a sudden, that Mirren Crusader's lethal. So if Eric can draw one of his 4 Oblivion Rings, or draw another Mirren Crusader, he might be able to put this one away. But instead just draws a Mana Leaf this turn. And for those of you who can't see, he does have a blue source down there, hidden among his planes.
Yeah, he has a Secret Ghost.
So it looked like it was just going to be a blowout. Eric's clawed his way to having some outs in his deck. Moorland Haunt would also be very good. Though the window's quickly closing because that's a gigantic Dungrove Elder, and somewhere in that deck is Bellowing Tangleworm.
So, I mean, he kind of just wants to build lethal, right? And then just kill him with a Tangleworm?
Steven has a lot of ways to play this. He can either tutor up another Phyrexian Metamorph to make sure he doesn't just die to a top deck removal spell, or he can just cut Eric West off from having more turns. I'm not sure what the best play is here.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
You could also build Garrick up towards the overrun, too. There are a lot of ways to play this. Stephen Mann can't give his opponent infinite time, though, because as far as he knows, there could be Angelic Destinies in Eric's deck. We know there aren't any, but there could be. Also, Moorland Haunt, like I said before, is a really great draw for Eric.
Yeah, Moorland Haunt at this point.
I think right now, if I'm Steven, I just go tutor up another Dungrove Elder. Then, at some point, tutor up a Bellowing Tangleworm. Try and kill his opponent as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a little early on the Bellowing Tangleworm because if he tries to cast it now, it's going to get Mana Leaf.
Yeah, that's not going to be good for Steven.
Bellowing Tangleworm. Bah.
That's going to give Eric a lot more turns.
I mean, but in Steven's defense, there aren't many human decks that are playing Mana Leafs in the main deck.
That's true. That's true. And again, our view is pretty clouded because we know Eric's hand, we know he has Mana Leaf, but most decks aren't. I think
would not know that.
Almost every single human deck I've seen does not have it.
All right. Let's see if Steven decides to go for that right now.
Yep, it looks like he wants to. It's almost like he knows his opponent has a Mana Leak, but he plays it anyway. Right into the leak.
Yeah. Now it's going to be really hard to win. He's really just going to have to start working up that Garrick or something.
Yeah, this is going to give Eric a lot of turns to draw a flyer or a removal spell.
I believe that was a Moorland Haunt.
Wow, that would be perfect.
That's a flyer. Oh no, it's an Elite Inquisitor.
Okay. So pretty ineffective. Just about as good as a land right now. Though it should be noted that that's a lot of first strike. That's 9 points of first strike. He can first strike down any creature in Steven's deck.
Eventually a Dungrove Elder can't be first strike down.
Right.
But at this point, Steven's not really going to be attacking until he gets to like an overrun effect anyway, just because.
Definitely.
You know, there's a pro-green guy on the other side of the table.
Yeah, at this point, I would just be churning out wolves and then overrun eventually.
Yeah, seems reasonable.
Oh, is that a Metamorph? Wow. Great draw from Steven. He only had one of those left in his deck, I think. Let's see what it copies. Porcelain Legionnaire. So
like it.
another line of defense against an O-ring. Smart heads-up play by Steven. He knows that 3 life just about the same as 5 life at this point.
Yeah, and 2 negates in Eric's hand here. Stranded a bit.
Yep, so Steven wants to draw Sword of War and Peace, but Eric wants him to draw that too. Yeah, and there's the sword.
There it is, Sword of War and Peace.
And if he was expecting negate, there's no way he'll be expecting, or if he was expecting mana leak, there'll be no way he's expecting negate, rather.
Negate.
Main deck negate you.
Yeah. That's definitely not something you'd expect to see coming at all.
No. So now we're still in the stalemate. Neither player can attack. But Steven looks like he wants to.
Just gonna cast Daybreak Ranger.
Okay. Interesting to note, the only green sources in his deck are 4 Birds of Paradise. He's playing 23 Forest.
I'm actually surprised had he jumped to the wolf instead of the bird.
Yeah, he would be at 4 more life due to those metamorphs, and he would be able to activate the flip side of Daybreak.
Pass the turn.
And he would have saved 2 life on the porcelain too.
All right, Eric. Tapping.
That's
3
not a good
mana.
number of mana for Steven.
Oblivion Ring.
Oof. So that'll take out the Garrick. And now this game is really ground to a halt.
Yep. The Daybreak Ranger actually provides some semblance of defense against Moorland Haunt.
Yeah, it does. Steven actually doesn't want that to flip. But drawing off the top, he's not going to have much of a choice. The Daybreak Ranger also gives Steven a lot more outs in the form of Birds of Paradise, which this is, wow, what a great draw.
Yeah, very good draw step.
As soon as that Daybreak flips, Eric's going to be in big, big trouble. Oh, Moorland Haunt.
Yeah, a little late.
Uh-oh. It's not going to be good for you, Eric. Nightfall Predator.
Yep, and that's going to protect Steven through just about anything here.
Yep. So Daybreak flips. And if I'm Steven here, I'm pretty sure I just play it safe and say go. No reason to attack when you have the game virtually locked up here. End of turn, Eric West makes a Spirit Token with his Moorland Haunt.
Yeah.
They're finding one right now, and there it is.
Not going to hang around for long, though.
No.
The Nightfall Predator going to start doing some work here. Nightfall Predator, one of my favorite cards. Whoa.
Wow. I would not have blocked with the bird there. Okay, I see. Okay.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I like that.
That's a really smart play, because if he
It's
tapped
actually
the
perfect.
Yeah. Steven Mann just 1 level ahead of us.
Yes. Well done, Steven.
That way, any sort of shenanigans that give it protection from green or ++, do not kill him.
All right, and this is such a grindy game.
Yeah. At this point, Steven just has to run him out of creatures in his graveyard, then he can shoot that Mirroring Crusader.
Well, you can't shoot the Mirroring Crusader. Fish from green. Yeah, but he
that's
can
how
shoot
that
the
works,
elite.
huh?
He can
Yeah.
shoot the Elite Inquisitors and just kind of
Right.
shoot everything that gets played that's not a Mirroring Crusader until
Right.
he just has enough on the table to just kill him anyway.
Yep, Eric with 2 more creatures in his graveyard.
Steven decides to just pass. Eric decides to just draw off the turn.
No Moreland Haunt token.
Pass the turn, and Steven decides to not kill something with Nightfall Predator.
That should actually probably be a werewolf, meaning Elite Inquisitor has protection, I bet.
That makes sense.
These seldom used abilities on these cards. Protection from werewolves.
Yeah. And Phyrexian Metamorph, going to copy Nightfall Predator.
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah. This is a grind.
It's a wild game. So Steven Mann at 1 life.
Yeah.
Now, interesting to note, that Nightfall Predator cannot flip back, since it's a Metamorph. So Steven deals 4 to the Loyal Cathar. If I was Eric, I would have waited to play that Loyal Cathar until I drew another Honor of the Pier.
Yeah. Maybe that's almost certainly correct. But here, like, you're kind of in this grindy game, kind of just playing everything you draw off the top.
Right.
You get the swing of that.
So if you're just joining us right now, you have come into a heck of a game. Steven Mann, Dungrove Elder, currently an 8/8, 3 Death Touch Wolves, 2 Porcelain Legionnaires, a Bird of Paradise, 2 Nightfall Predators, a Stranglerookeist with a counter, facing off against an O-Ring, a Moreland Haunt, 2 Elite Inquisitors, a Mirren Crusader, flipped Loyal Cathar, and an Honor of the Pier. Life totals are 20 to 1.
And despite Steven Mann's life total being 1, I gotta say, I think he's probably going to win this game.
I think so. I think it's going to take a while, but he should win. Now, what Eric needs to do is draw a second Moreland Haunt, and then at the end of Steven's turn, activate both Moreland Haunts. That will force him to chump block with the Bird of Paradise. We'll see if he does this. If he can find another haunt. Oh, wow, another bird.
That's pretty good.
That's very good.
It's funny that's good at this stage of the game.
Yeah. Eric's sitting only with a negate in hand for relevant spells, I believe.
Which is really relevant if Steve draws a sword.
It is, yeah. Steven thinks he just has some auto win draws left in his deck in sort of War and Peace, but the negate makes that not so.
Yeah.
So it looks like Eric is just going to cast his creature, Champion of the Parish. Again, there's no reason to be casting them, because those Nightfall Predators couldn't shoot anything anyway. Oh, Dungrove. And now Steven Mann's getting really close to lethal, as those Elders are 9/9.
Steven can attack next turn, actually.
Yeah.
Which is, the first time he's been able to do that since the game started.
And
So,
another one.
I can attack.
Yeah. Amazing. So Eric West has drawn something like 12 land this game out of his 20, but only 1 has been a Moreland Haunt. So now those Elders are 10/10s, which is a pretty important number.
Yep.
That both dodges the first striking ability and makes it half of Eric's life.
Yep, and here they come, coming in.
Boom.
Eric's going to block 1 with the Mirren Crusader.
Where's the Guardian's Pledge now from the human deck?
Pretty sweet right here.
It really would.
Yeah.
So Eric trying to decide which block buys him the most time to draw more of his outs. So Eric triple blocks, killing one Dungrove Elder, but losing 2 Elite Inquisitors. And Garrick Relentless for Steven. Not sure what this Garrick will do. Okay, just make a wolf. I was thinking maybe shoot his own wolf so he can use Garrick's -1 ability on the backside. But either way, I think he has this game locked up.
I shouldn't even say it. Never mind. Yep, shoots it and shoots it.
Gun it down. The Bird of Paradise Nightfall Predator combo.
Yeah, and let's see what... I think Steven's just going to end this now by turning everything sideways.
Yeah.
So you leave back your birds and, you know.
Yeah, I think I would leave back 1 Predator, 1 Bird, but everything else can come in.
I might leave back Porcelain Legionnaire.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty reasonable
green.
too.
I don't know if I leave back either of the Predators.
Could we have August Bernard Carras and Manny Horetzi? Or easy? August and Manny.
I guess all you need is 10 besides the Dungrove, and then you can leave everything else back, right?
Right.
Yeah, this is a good attack.
So he leaves his 2 Porcelains back and 1 Nightfall Predator back. So this way he'll be able to shoot any Moreland Haunt tokens, block any Mirren Crusader problems, and hopefully win. Hopefully for him anyway.
Yeah, and that's it.
So
yeah,
I think I would have offered the hand too after that crazy game.
I mean, normally the game 1 handshake is a little passe, but after a game like that, you know,
crazy game.
That's a good game.
That probably went about 15 turns, something like that. Stephen Mann's 1 Porcelain Legionnaire. Yeah, maybe even more. His 1 Porcelain Legionnaire. Without that in his deck, I think he would have lost that game.
He probably would have lost that game.
He would have had to tutor up Phyrexian Metamorph, and I believe he needed all 3 Metamorphs that game, which he just naturally drew. So the players will go to their sideboards now for game 2. Stephen Mann has Batterskulls, Swords of Feast and Famine, Thrun, Viridian Corruptors, Acidic Slime, Naturalized, Active Aggression, Precursor Golem, Corrosive Gale, Dismembered Garrick. All in one of the 2
Precursor Golem's kind of awesome here.
Yeah, it sure is. Eric can't do anything about that except mana leak it. So I have to imagine we'll see a Batterskull. We'll see maybe a Viridian Corruptor. Try and play around any equipment from Eric West. Precursor Golem for sure. But really, his deck's pretty well set up to fight the human deck as it is.
I mean, the other thing to remember about Steven's deck is Steven has 4 Sword of War and Peace main.
Right.
You know, on the turns where Eric is tapping out to develop his board, if Steven just has a Sword of War and Peace, he kind of just wins.
Yeah, the game is probably just over unless Eric has an Oblivion Ring. And even 1 hit from the sword is often enough to just take the game.
Yeah, the other thing about Steven's deck, the reason these mono green decks, you know, it did so well in the beginning of the format, is, you know, when the format first started, Sword of War and Peace was the best card. As a lot of people would expect, you know, the white cards in this format are awesome. The white creatures, especially. Sword of War and Peace really just super well positioned at the Pro Tour, super well positioned leading up to the Pro Tour. Would expect that to be the best card of the Pro Tour. Then these green decks did really well because here's a deck that plays 4 of what was the best card, Sword of War and Peace. They can cast it on turn 2.
Right. And a deck like this can actually play 4 of the card, where a deck like a Delver deck or even a human deck, it just can't play 4 of a card like that.
Yeah,
it's just too expensive. And they just can't do it. So this is the best Sword of War and Peace deck. Yeah, for sure. Looking at Eric's sideboard, Corrosive Gales, Ratchet Bombs, Swords of his own, Phyrexian Metamorph, Revoke Existence, Grafdigger. So we're not going to see too much here.
Metamorph,
yeah, probably Metamorph.
I guess it's a way to kill Thrun.
Yeah, maybe Ratchet Bomb as a way to kill swords, but
I don't even know if he wants the Metamorphs, because like, what are you doing besides hitting a Thrun with that?
Right, you can't copy Dungrove Elder, their go-to fatty. That will just be a 0/0. You can copy the flip side of Daybreak Ranger, not be able to activate it, I guess. This is all pretty poor.
Yeah, it just doesn't really seem like this. And then it's like a conditional bad Woolly Taktar.
Right. It can copy Mirran Crusader.
That's really good.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, if you have a Mirran Crusader doing work, then that's all you need. Something I'd really like to see out of our sideboard that he doesn't have access to is spot removal that's not Oblivion Ring.
Yeah.
The Oblivion Ring is a pretty narrow spot removal spell. There are a lot of things people can do that Oblivion Ring just can't interact with. I'd really like to see some Dismember,
right,
or something like that here.
It's pretty strange calling Oblivion Ring narrow, but in this case, it really is. It just can't hit a lot of the problem cards.
And I don't mean that to say that Oblivion Ring is about the least narrow card in the universe.
Once again, Magic players,
right.
Still taking signups for Two-Headed Giants.
When you're trying to beat the cards that he's trying to beat.
You and a buddy of your choice.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Eric on the play leads off with Seachrome, Doomstalker. Stephen Mann counters with Forest, and no bird, no elf. Not where he wants to be on turn 1.
Eric West has one of these really good draws where he gets to go turn 1, Doom Traveler, turn 2, Honor the Pure.
Swing for 2. Now,
Stephen playing 18 here.
Against a blind opponent, what do you want more, Doom Traveler or Champion on turn 1?
Doom Traveler.
Wow. It's a testament to the power of that card.
I think it's also kind of a testament to the power of like Young Wolf even.
Yeah, it is. I bet you that card's going to be a great card in Standard.
At some point.
Yeah, at some point. Not now. But. So there's that one Legionnaire. Wow. That's just going to stop.
That one Legionnaire making waves here today.
Yeah. Eric does have an Oblivion Ring, so if he wants to get rid of it, he can. Might decide he needs to save that for something like a Planeswalker, though. But the human deck does have to be the beatdown here, because if the game goes long, like we saw, the green decks will just take over.
Yeah.
Champion for Eric. And he says go, representing a Mana Leak or a Negate. Not sure if he has either one of those. But if Steven...
There's the bird on turn 3 off the top for Steven, not when you want it.
No. Bird on turn 1 would have let him cast that Legionnaire for no life.
So his turn 2 draw was a Llanowar Elf, his turn 3 draw was a...
So pre-combat Llanowar Elf wants to see if it gets Mana Leak before he attacks. And now we'll play a bird. And ends his turn with a Forest. Carefully playing his worst 1-drop first, then his better 1-drop, then the land. Try and make his opponent Mana Leak at the worst time.
Ooh, Gather the Townsfolk, that's pretty good here.
Yeah.
It's going to make that Champion of the Parish into a 4/4, going to give him 2 2/2s.
Yeah, Honor of the Pure, just one of the absolute best cards in that deck.
Oh yeah, it's just so good.
Eric actually, he originally only had 3 in his deck. He crossed it out and went up to 4.
I agree.
Yeah, seems like the right decision, the right number of Honor of the Pures. And we'll see if he has a land to represent Mana Leak again. So Elf Chump blocks the Elite. He takes 2 from the Spirit, going to 16. Grafdigger's Cage. Okay, so that will shut off any and all Green Sun Zeniths from Stephen Mann's deck.
Yep.
That's it, though. It'll have no other effect.
Well, is that
except maybe...
Oh, it's getting a Strangler.
Yeah, that's the other ones. The Strangler. So Legionnaire charges in. Interesting attack. Thrun the Last Troll. So Stephen attacks with the Legionnaire and has a Thrun, which cannot be Oblivion Ringed, importantly.
That's very important. And he may read Eric for that Oblivion Ring because... that's a big attack now.
Yeah, that's huge. That's the only reason I'm not sure I like attacking with that Porcelain Legionnaire.
I mean, right after he cast the Porcelain Legionnaire, Eric did like kind of tap the 3 lands, then untap them. He may have been like, oh, he has an Oblivion Ring. Like, if I don't attack this turn, he's just going to Oblivion Ring it anyway.
Right, so might as well get the 3 damage in.
Free 3 points.
Right.
Which is, something that's valuable to do.
So Bird will step in front of the champion. Steven will take 6 damage down to 8 life.
And it's looking like Steve's just too far behind here.
Yeah. The Honor of the Pure really was way too good. That's an extra 4 damage every single turn.
Yeah, Steven's hand didn't really develop that well. He's on the draw.
Yeah, he drew those mana creatures at some really awkward times. So Garrick will make a wolf. That's a wolf.
Wolf. What kind of wolf is it?
A aged wolf. So Eric untaps. I have to imagine we'll see an Oblivion Ring here.
I won't expect us to.
Yep. Oblivion Ring the Porcelain Legionnaire, charge in with all the creatures. We'll leave Steven chump blocking the champion and at 2 life.
Correct, and then he's pretty much dead.
Yeah, and then he's dead. Mono green deck, no Wrath of Gods in the mono green deck.
Surprisingly enough.
Imagine that, yeah. So in the next planar chaos, will they make a green damnation? What do you think?
I doubt it.
Maybe an unset.
I like original damnation. I kind of always thought Wrath should have been a black card.
Yeah, then White has so little going for it, though.
Well, now White has a ton going for it. Back then, I could understand. Yeah.
White used to be the worst color. Green wasn't the worst always.
Oh, so we chose not to Oblivion Ring the Porcelain Legionnaire. That's interesting.
Okay. So block, fall to 4 life. Eric loses one of his human tokens, and it is still in a good position.
Yeah, still in a very good position here. Now you can just Oblivion Ring the Garrick.
Post-combat O-Ring. Yep, Oblivion Ring. And now Eric, I think, realizes he should have killed the Legionnaire, but might want to avoid doing that now on camera. Chooses the Garrick. And draws and packs it in. So game 3. Game 2, a little shorter than game 1.
A lot shorter than game 1.
Yeah, a lot shorter than game 1. But now Steven will be on the play. Odds would say that he should have a 1-drop mana accelerator on turn 1 this time.
Yeah, one would expect him to.
Right. It just improves his deck by so much having that 1-drop.
Yeah, it's just something that his deck does with a great deal of consistency too.
Right.
It's not something you really...
23 forests, so none of his lands come into play tapped. Full 8 accelerators.
5 minutes left on the clock here.
Wow.
They're going to need to play quickly.
They will.
And they've been playing a little slow.
Especially that game 1, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, even though it was a very long game, they played very slow also.
Right.
I mean, when you're playing mono green and mono white sorcery speed creature decks, you kind of got to keep it up.
Right. You don't expect that you're going to go to time, but in a matchup like this, with just creatures crashing into each other over and over, it easily could. Eric West is the slowest player of the history of the universe, someone tweets in? No, I don't think so.
No, you've never seen John Sunny play.
Right.
Oh, man.
It's actually one of the ones I was thinking of, too.
John Sunny?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. The first time I ever played against him, I didn't even believe it was real.
Right,
I was just
tanks every single turn.
Every single turn he was tanking, I was just like, man, you gotta play.
Do something.
He was like so surprised that I told him to play faster. He's like, really? You're going to play faster?
No one's ever told me that.
Play slow? Really?
John Sunny, of course, winner of multiple GPs.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good.
Yeah, when he cares to play.
Yeah.
John Sunny famously, Wormcoil Engine in the sideboard of his Scars of Mirrodin sealed deck.
All right, Letterwell's on turn 1 for Stephen Mann. Turn 2, he has a Daybreak Ranger. That's going to be really tough for Eric West to deal with.
Yeah, turn 2 Daybreak with a Llanowar Elf.
Oh, leave because it's pretty good. It's a werewolf.
The natural foil, the Daybreak Ranger. But Steven has a Sword of War and Peace in his hand, which it looks like this. Oh, no. Run the last troll. Or Green Sun for 3.
That's going to be a Dungrove Elder.
Oh, yes. Setting up turn 4, play sword, equip rather nicely.
And Eric's definitely going to tap his mana to do something this turn.
Yeah, he'll have to.
If he doesn't, he's just going to start taking beats from Dungrove. And if he does, well, then he's going to start taking sword hits to the face, and that's never going to work out for him.
No. Honor of the Pierre, attack for 3, Champion of the Parish. So Stephen Mann 17, Eric West 20.
Is there a land? Yep, there is. And
that's pretty much going to be game over. Yeah.
My freshman year of college. It was a very long book. To be honest, I even spark noted part of it. And that book was called War and Peace.
Oh boy.
So,
well, we can spark note this one. What? Oh, he has a precursor golem in his hand.
That's even more exciting.
Okay. That's one of the only cards I would play over Sword of War and Peace here.
I think I agree with you. I don't even know if I do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I actually don't think I do, but
either way, Stephen Mann in a commanding position.
But I mean,
right.
Yeah, it's pretty close, and why not?
Yeah.
Precursor Golem's way sweeter.
Show off for the camera a little bit. Play around any potential Oblivion Rings. So the judge has the golem tokens at the ready. There they are, and removed.
Revoking Existence.
Oh my. Oh, and he has a mana leak. We'll see if he leaves that Glacial Fortress up. Nope. Loyal Cathar.
Yeah, and that's going to make this champion grow a little bit. Yep, for 5. Putting Steven down to 12 here.
6 even.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
So 11 to 16, but now the sword will come into play. Oh, he drew a Batter Skull too. Geez, do you even play sword right now? Do you just play Batter Skull? No. Sword gets equipped. Attacks with the Daybreak. Dropping Eric to 12, and then I believe 2 points of damage down to 10.
And Steven's going to gain some life now, too.
Yep. I believe 3 life, and leaves his 4/4 Dungrove Elder back on defense.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Eric to beat his way through.
Sorry, gains 2 life, not 4 life.
Oh, there's 2 in hand?
2, I think, yeah.
Okay. Taking 3 from that, or no, 4 now.
Yep.
Goes down to 9. Not attack.
That Loyal Cathar might have attacked as well. Hard to tell with the Vigilance. Oh, Metamorph copying sword. No, that'll get mana leaked.
Yeah.
So that Metamorph drops Steven to 11, but he's going to gain 2 more life. Going back up to 13.
Yeah.
Dealing Eric West 5 points of damage for his 1 card in hand. And he's going to need to draw an Oblivion Ring right now.
Yeah, as we see, like, these sword draws are just so good.
Yeah. So Llanowar Elf chumps and Dungrove Elder eats a Cathar. And the only way Eric is not dead is if Steven plays a spell pre-combat, letting him mana leak it.
Seems unlikely.
Or no, he can block with that Loyal Cathar, actually. I lied.
Oh, can it not block?
Unhallowed Cathar. Oh,
Player,
it has a line of text as well? Wow.
Active player, finish your turn, complete 5 additional turns. Again, that is the end of round 4.
So Stephen Mann trying to figure out what Eric can have. He's already seen some interesting cards from him, like main deck negates, so he wants to make sure he plays around everything. And now that time has been called, he has more time to think. They both know that this game's not going to go much longer than 5 turns.
So
attack, and that's going to do it.
Yeah.
Mana Leak
Eric
has
has
no
Mana
legal
Leak.
targets.
I cast it.
Wait.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's lethal. And there's the handshake. Steven Mann takes a really close game and ended that game at 3 life. We thought it was just going to be a blowout.
We do have 3 great altruists.
I mean, had he just cast the sword there and attacked, it would have been a blowout.
Lindsey Burley, Mike
Cast
Fairservice.